Hey guys, it's CrystalRenèe here. Welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, thanks for joining. I'm really trying to record this video, but Jay keeps tweeting, so it looks like you guys are gonna have to listen to him chirp in the background. Hey Planty Friends, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm gonna be sharing with you my Hoya wish list. Now, I was surfing Instagram and I came across some beautiful photos of all of the wish list plants that I want to have in my collection. Each account that I came across had beautiful collections, so you ought to check them out. I will be listing each account down below in my description box. I'll also slide them across the screen as I post each photo. So with no further ado, let's get into the video. Okay, if you see me looking down, that is because I have my phone here and I will be checking out my notes and things that I took down for this video. So the first plant that I would like to share with you, which is not in any particular order, all these plants I want equally in my collection, so let me just put that out there. The first plant that I would love to have in my collection is a Hoya Mathilde Splash. If you haven't seen one of these plants, I'm telling you, this plant is gorgeous. The leaves are kind of small, but they are very splashy, and from what I hear, they're a fast growing plant, and who doesn't love a fast growing plant? Because it's always rewarding. The blooms on this plant are beautiful. They have like a cream colored white. I'm not sure if they come in any other colors, but I do like the look of the white blooms on this particular plant. And if the plant itself wasn't beautiful enough, I just love this photo of this particular plant and how they have it on a trellis going in a circle, because you can have this plant trailing as well. I think I like the look of it on a trellis. So yes, the Hoya Mathilde is one of the plants that I need in my collection. The next plant that I would love to have in my collection is the Hoya Sarawak. Now this plant is beautiful. This plant looks beautiful plain green, as you see here, and it also looks beautiful when it is sun stressed and it gets a little bit of red to its foliage. So either way, if it's sun stressed or the original green, I love this plant and I would love to have it in my collection. So moving on to the next plant. This next plant I already had in my collection, and yeah, sadly it's no longer with me, so I'm on the hunt for another, and it is the Hoya Crimson Princess. I have the queen, which I just showed you all in one of my last videos, but I would like to get the princess back into my collection. And as you can see on this photo, this princess has been a bit sun stressed, so I like how it turns that pinkish red, almost black around the edges. I love that about that plant, so I think I need that plant back in my collection. So that is why it's on my Hoya wish list. Moving on, the next plant is a Hoya Pubicalyx Splash. You're gonna notice in this video, a lot of these plants are a bit splashy, because I like that. I like that about certain Hoyas when they have that little splash to them. So this particular plant I like because of the splash. Now they do have an original Hoya Pubicalyx, I believe, and it's a little bit more gray and a little less splash, but I'm gonna need the splash on mine, so I do want to incorporate that plant into my collection as well. Next up is a Hoya Sunrise. Now what I like about this plant is The leaves are a little bit smaller, but they're very veiny. You can see the veins in the plant. And again, when it is sun stressed, I like the reddish tint that it gives. So that is why I want the Hoya Sunrise in my collection. Next up we have is the, wait, give me a second because this one's a little bit hard to pronounce for me. Let's see if I can get it. It is the Hoya Callistophylla. Callistophylla? I don't know. Y'all let me know in the comments if I said that correctly. But what I like about this plant is the veins. It looks like, I can't explain it. I just like the dark marks that are imprinted in the leaf of this plant. I have no idea what the flower will look like, but when it comes to Hoyas, I really don't go for them for the flower. I'm sorry not to put down anybody else who does, but I tend to look for Hoyas for their foliage, their leaves, and how they look. So that is what attracts me to Hoyas. So to each his own. But this Hoya, I just like how you can see the dark markings around the edges and all throughout the leaf, and I like that about it. It's like I can just look at that plant all day. So yeah. The next plant is a Finlaysonii Nova. There are a couple different varieties of the Finlaysonii, and I like the Nova version of it. And again, I like the markings on it. But this particular Hoya has a darker leaf color to it on top of the dark markings. So, and the leaf is kind of shiny and is given on this photo as you can see. So that is why I want it in my collection. This next plant is another plant that is kind of hard for me to pronounce, but it is called, I believe, the Hoya Callistophylla silver. And I like the shape of this plant, I like the size of the leaves, and I like how it looks on a trellis. So yeah, I like the silvery texture. It has like a powdery silvery texture and just a little splash of dark green in it in different sections, and I like that. It almost has the color of a philodendron silver sword, how it's not quite blue and it's not quite green, it's like a minty green. So that is what attracts me to this plant and why I want it in my collection. The next plant is kind of new to my wish list, but it has grown on me. The Hoya Sigillatis, I believe. Again, the names will be on the screen if I'm not pronouncing them correctly. What I like about this plant is I like the shape of the leaf and how it's elongated and has the splashing all throughout it. If I'm not mistaken, I think most Hoyas sun stress, and that's okay. It's not that the plant is dying or it's harming the plant, but it just tends to get this red color tint to it when it is sun stressed. And from the looks of this picture, this plant is beginning to become sun stressed, because if I'm not mistaken, the original color of the plant is like a minty color green with like a white splash to it. So that is why I want to add it to my collection, because whether it's sun stressed or not, I like the way it looks. The next plant on my list is a Hoya Vitellinoides. I feel like I'm repeating myself when I'm explaining why I like each one of these plants, because like I said, I feel the same way about all of them. I'm just attracted to the leaf pattern and what it looks like and the veininess. I guess I'm attracted to veins and splash when it comes to Hoya. So yeah, those are the type of Hoyas that I would like to add, and this plant is giving all of that, so that is why I like it in my collection. Okay, last but not least is the Hoya Rangsan, and if I had to choose a favorite out of all the Hoyas that I've named today, this might be it, because I just like how that dark green on that leaf contrasts with those white splashes across the front of it. It's just beautiful. I'm not sure what this plant looks like sunstressed. I never looked that up, but in its original state, yeah, it's nice. And those are the Hoyas that I have on my wish list and that I would love to have in my collection. If anybody has any of those plants in their collection, comment below and tell me how they're doing in your collection, and are they easy to care for, and things that I may need to know about those particular plants before adding them to my home and my environment, and where I can get them for the low, because some of these plants is a little pricey. I'm also open to trades. If you just want to bless your girl with a cutting of one of them, you know, hit me up on Instagram in my DM. And my Instagram will be linked on the screen. It is Crystal's Plants Art. I also want to mention once again, I have mentioned this before in one of my prior videos, my old account was hacked, and from my knowledge, that person still has control of that account and has still been reaching out to people who are following that account. So if you are one of those people that person is reaching out to, I apologize in advance, and I ask you to please report that channel and block them right away. It is not me. And that is all for this video. If you made it to the end of this video, you are the coolest. And as I always say, enjoy peace, spread love, and be blessed. And happy growing. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Click the notification bell so that you never miss a post. Share with all your planty friends. And follow me on my Instagram so that we can interact.